During the last lecture, we have proved a theorem in which we have taken the two elements H1 and H2 as normal subgroups of a group Z. Then, and this G was written as the internal direct product of H1 H2. And then we have proven that G is equivalent to H1 H2 and the intersection of H1 and H2 having only a single element identity, where this identity is the element of group Z. We have proved this theorem for these two elements. This is the generalization of this theorem. Now we are taking here n normal subgroups. These are the n normal subgroups of a group Z, and this group Z is can be written as the internal product of these n normal subgroups. Then these two theorems will be satisfied. These two conditions will be satisfied here. It means Z will be the product of H1, H2 and Hn, and their intersection will contain only a single element identity. Here the terms IDP, this IDP is used for internal direct product and EDP is used for external direct product, and the definition of internal direct product as well as the definition of external direct product has been discussed in previous lectures. So let us start the proof of this theorem. First we will assume that G is an IDP of H1, H2 and Hn. It means it is the internal product of these groups. So every element of the group G can be obtained by the product of these elements. It means that every element of this group G will be available in the direct product of these normal subgroups. Let us suppose we have an element G, then this G element will be equivalent to the internal direct product of some elements of H1, H2 and up to Hn. Let us G is equivalent to this, but such type of combination can be available only on the product of H1, H2, H3 and Hn, because if you are multiplying these n subgroups, then the first element of first group, second element of second group and third element of third group will be multiplied with each other. So this will be the element of this product. Here we have assumed that capital G having element Z, and that element is also available in this. It means the every element of capital G is available is the element of H1, H2 up to Hn. So capital G may be the subset of, this will be the subset of these, the product of internal direct product of these n normal subgroups. So this is my condition first. But as we have assumed that H1, H2, Hn, the product of these n normal subgroups or subgroups is sufficient to generate the elements of G. It means it will generate all the possible elements of G. So this part may be the subset of G. So by using the first condition and second condition, we can say that these are equivalent. So the G will be equal to the internal direct product of H1, H2, H3 and Hn. Sorry, not internal direct product, this is the product. So G will be equivalent to H1, will be equivalent to the product of H1, H2, H3 up to Hn. So this is the required result. Again, if it is possible that the intersection of these n normal subgroups have the element Z. Let us suppose this is the element which is belonging to the intersection of these n normal subgroups. But as we have discussed that if G be a subgroup and it can be written as the product of normal subgroups, then the nature of these subgroups will be written or in this type. It means these groups in normal subgroups will be written in this manner. It means if you are taking any element from first subgroup, then the remaining places will be fulfilled by the identity of the remaining subgroups. And if you are taking the second non-identity element from second group, then the remaining positions will be fulfilled by the identity element of remaining subgroups. So this is the nature, and we have already proved this part in my last lecture hope. So Hn will be written in this pattern, where these elements G1 will be belongs to capital G1, G2 will belongs to capital G2, and G3 will belongs to capital G3, and so on. But this in this problem we don't have multiple groups. Here we have only a single group Z. It means we have to write the definition of H1, H2, H3 in terms of a single group Z. So we can write it if you are taking the group, the element, any element from group Z, then the remaining element will be identity. And if we are fulfilling the first position for identity, then the second position will be fulfilled by the element, because G have the unique identity E. So I am writing here E, and any element from Z. So this will be the structure of H1, this will be the structure of H2, and so on. So similarly we can write the n normal subgroups by taking n elements from the group Z, H1, H2, H3, and so on. Here we are noticing that there is no common element, only the E is the common element. So if we take the intersection of these n normal subgroups, then we will find only a single single common element, which is identity. So this set is equivalent to another set having only a single identity element. Now here we wish to prove the converse of this theorem, and conversely we will take these two conditions and we will show that the G can be written as the internal direct product of these n normal subgroups. It seems that I have missed to scan the second part of this theorem. So here the converse of this theorem is not available in this video. I will discuss that part in my next lecture. The content of internal direct product and external direct product is slightly difficult, so student have to give more attention to understand this topic. And if you are facing any difficulty to understand this topic, you can read any standard book and you can contact me anytime to understand the theorems, because the concept of this topic is slightly tricky or complicated for the students. So I hope you are understanding this topic properly. In case of any difficulty, you can contact me. Thank you so much.